Good morning and welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 5th of August. Let's start off looking at the news. We could look at last week's news. Non-farm payrolls came out not as well as expected. In fact, I'm just going to click on here and see the numbers. Firstly, really for growth of employment, you're looking at 200k to take into account. Numbers coming off one end and the other end, so you really want somewhere in the region of 200. Well, it was already forecast at 176. It came in less than expected. The unemployment rate went up quite suddenly there, and average hours earnings went up 0.2 as opposed to 0.3 previous. So some poor figures there overall. Now, that's having a knock-on effect on the market. It's now pointing, I remember I was reading this on Friday actually, in terms of there's the expectation now that the Fed have left it too late to start cutting. It looks like there's a certainty at the next meeting and possibly the next meetings after that now. There's a sudden fear in the markets, and that's running through a lot of these currencies, which we'll show in a moment. For now though, today's news, we don't have a great deal here today. Got final services data out this afternoon for the US, and then tomorrow morning we've got the Aussie dollar, we've got the Reserve Bank of Australia meeting and conference coming from that. It's not expected to see any changes. Inflation is still running quite hot in Australia, but their rates were never as high as most other countries, or many other countries I should say. What else we got? We haven't got a great deal the rest of the week. It is this sleepy week that sort of follows non-farm payrolls, and well, we had the Fed meeting of course last week. So let's have a look at the technicals, and we're starting off here looking at the euro dollar, where it's back up to its annual pivot here. It's had a lot of problems around this. It has managed to pop over it a couple of times this year, but it's largely been contained. Huge day up there on Friday, wiping out all the losses. Is that the term, wiping out the losses? Anyway, it's normally wiping out the gains, isn't it? But it got quite a it's just just get out of it. That's it. That's better. Yeah, it absolutely flew there. In fact, yeah, it was really the 1 o'clock bar that really kicked it, and we've probably got a bit of divergence over these highs at the moment, but the pivots are going to be very, very spread out today after that huge range on Friday. With what we're seeing here, well, we have been given another higher low there, and it's a bit of a switchback and a bit of uncertain times when we get back. I'll come back to this 4-hourly picture. A bit uncertain when we get into these sort of double tops where it was last time, in terms of, well, is the Eurozone really going to continue shoving up there? I think it's more about the dollar at the moment, and is it going to continue to weaken as opposed to the euro getting stronger. But anyway, money's got to go somewhere, and holdings will go somewhere. We're certainly seeing, I'm just going to switch across to dollar yen here. We're certainly seeing the yen coming off, or dollar yen coming off here. As I said last week, looking for opportunities to get short on this. I think it might be a difficult one at the moment. It's come off so strongly and so harsh that it's a bit of a waiting game, and we do get these sort of retracements from time to time, and hopefully we'll get one. But there was discussion I heard this morning by one of our other traders. They was talking about the unwinding of the carry trade, which could of course accelerate this move at some stage. We could see a bit more acceleration, particularly as it gains more traction on the downside there. So, the yen gets bought more. Right, let's just go back to the pound dollar. So pound dollar didn't really do so well, and it's a bit sort of stuck here. Obviously riots and things like this are catching the eye of a lot of people out there, and these it certainly could well turn the pound down for a bit, whilst it should really be flying along effectively, catching a bit of a bid this morning as it's double bottoms back into Friday's lows, but not looking massively convincing with the lower highs running through in the earlier trading here. Just at the moment, as I say, looks a bit soft. We'll see what comes of this. It's still properly in a lower highs, lower lows all the way here. It's in a proper downtrend at the moment. It would become much more bullish to me if we could start breaking above the new monthly pivot, which is a possibility at some stage. We'll just see how things move from here. At the moment, it's looking more bearish than bullish, but the double bottom puts me off of shorting at this time, and I'd need a signal. Okay, we looked at the dollar yen. Let's go to the Aussie US dollar. This is flicking back. I went too quickly. Doesn't like me moving quickly. Is it going to stay on it? No, it's going back to the dollar yen. It's playing me about this morning. Whenever you change something a little bit too quick on this, it's now flicking between the two. Let's see if I can change. Okay, so the Aussie dollar. No, the Japanese yen. No, the Aussie dollar. Anyway, it's selling off. It's back to last the absolute lows almost. I say absolute lows. It's not absolute lows, but the lows from back in. Right. This is flicking between the two now and is messing me around. Let's hold it. Right. So it's back to the April lows there. And personally, I think it's probably got more downside overall. I haven't looked at the sentiment from last week's sentiment yet, but the previous week's sentiment was quite iffy on the Australian dollar. Most of last week it sat there chopping along. This morning it's already rolled over. Morning, guys. Where are we sitting at the moment? Really soft here. It's broken, as I say, broken the lows. Trouble is, it's moved so far. It's probably not a lot we can catch on to today at the moment. US dollar CAD. Yep, that's holding. So the US dollar CAD high lows coming through there. Just again, it's the Canadian dollar itself just weakening. So we're seeing that sort of dollar movement not particularly great, but it's not doing too bad against some of these commodity currencies. And you see the high lows through here now. Again, horrible failure candle, whatever you want to call it. It just not looking good at the moment in terms of trying to pick a trade on these majors as they stand, but it could take a little while this morning. We'll start getting into some new hourly bars, and hopefully we'll get some trading ideas. I mean, this has gone from an inverted head and shoulder pattern, and it's literally just fired off this dollar CAD and done the full movement straight off. So rather soft there. New Zealand dollar again following the Aussie, but they are getting a bit of a recovery. As I say, the pound's coming back, the Aussie possibly coming back. We might get a bit more recovery off of these and see a proper dollar sell completely, but it is mixed out there. The Swissy, which is often seen as the safety currency, well, it's seeing safety as the dollar's falling against the Swissy here. So commodity currencies doing the worst, safety currencies such as the yen and the Swissy doing the best at the moment. And we're really seeing this show up here. Euro's not doing too bad either. So lower highs, lower lows. Not a trade available for me this morning here at this stage. It's just again looking for retracements. Maybe if it got back at some point back to its daily pivot, might be a bit of a big ask at the moment. Some of the cross pairs, I noticed the likes of the euro. You see how strong the yen is starting to get against some of the majors here. Just switch this to a daily, and you can see that the euro yen continue in this southbound track now, as the yen slowly, or I say steadily now, continues to gain against these majors. So overall picture really is yen is by far looking the strongest out there. The euro's not doing too bad against at least one or two pairs, not so good against the yen, but you'll see it against the likes of the euro, New Zealand, and the Aussie, and the EURUSD. All of these can go there, and you're seeing the strength running all the way through here. So the euro doing pretty well. Okay, and there might be opportunities for further longs on that. Right, now my system's moving all on its own. Looking at other markets, gold, when things go a bit Pete Tong, gold, well, gold's not particularly doing too well in all of this. It's sort of almost double top. Wasn't far away from its all-time highs here, so it's don't get me wrong, it's not absolutely terrible at the moment, but it is getting itself into a bit of an ugly short-term pattern here. Making it difficult to really catch on to where this is going. I'm just looking, it's a bit of a cross of what's going on here. It did sell completely off, but then has since put a higher low in. Whether this can hold up or whether we could just see it fail, it's not clear enough for me. Oil, again, weaker. Well, generally weaker dollar, higher priced oil, but if there's a belief that the economy is going to slow down, well, there's less demand, and well, we're seeing that at the moment here. Lower highs, lower lows kicking through here, and looking quite soft. A move back to this weekly pivot on oil could give us an opportunity on the sell side. It really came off Friday after looking at one stage that it was going to push up there. So not a great deal there. S&Ps. Now this is where, I mean, we're seeing this morning again, really seeing these coming off. There is this sort of, okay, further interest rates are going to be cut, but they've effectively left the economy straining under the interest rates for too long, and it's having its knock-on effect in earnings, etc., all coming off a little bit. There was a lot of majors reporting last week which weren't that shiny compared to expectation. There's the odd one or two. Now it had bounced up on Wednesday there. Thursday just come off again, and Friday really just broke out those lows. It's certainly, with this lower high in here, looking much more towards a greater correction potential. We must be beyond the 50% of this recent retrace. It looks more like a 61.8 to me. Of the bigger move up, we'll start measuring soon, and certainly it's a tasty retracement that we're seeing there at the moment. Just don't be too it's just a case about patience with this. I'd rather sell into we'll let it come back up there and sell into a move to the downside, as opposed to a reversal back to the downside, having it retraced rather than just trying to sell it. Right, that's pretty much it for me this morning. It's, as I say, it's a bit of a weak old market out there. Something might turn up. The euro might continue its route to the upside. I should be looking closely at this morning. It is bitty. Has done some weird old stuff, but has put higher lows in there. So we'll see how it shapes up, but just need to give it a bit of time. Okay, catch you tomorrow. That's that lot.